What's going on, everybody? This is Andy here from Jailbreak Weekly. This is episode number 34. I've got my co-host David Burns with me today. What's up, David?
What's up, Andy? How you doing? How is your beautiful Sunday night?
It's very good. It's full of beautiful things. We also have Justin Whack on the line. What's up, Justin?
Not too much. Just chilling.
Nice. Yeah.
For reference, in case you guys are not watching the live stream.
Just stop.
Okay. Well, I was just saying, for people that don't know, we were streaming live on Sunday, so.
Sunday, yeah.
Well, I thought you were gonna go into this
look
big.
Up John Cena.
I thought you were gonna go into this big John Cena spiel.
I was just saying
and,
to explain the reason why I said this Sunday night. We're recording on Sunday night. That's all.
Oh yeah,
that's
well
true.
we are recording this Sunday night. That is very true. We are recording live on Sunday night, and yeah, it's gonna be a good show. So what do we got going on, Andy?
We got some good stuff going on today. We're going to start off with some news. So iOS 9.2.1 is no longer signed, and basically 9.2.1 unfortunately never received a jailbreak. However, jailbreakers are always advised to stay on the lowest firmware possible, even just in case. Yeah, exactly, because new firmwares always patch exploits, and you never really know if the exploits are going to be useful for a jailbreak. So. Right. Again, if you're currently on 9.2.1, and it's recommended that you stay there. But unfortunately, if you're on 9.3 or 9.3.1, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to downgrade.
Yeah,
so we just wanted to let everyone know. Yeah.
Actually, Andy, I kind of think it's funny that you're mentioning this because I seem to recall back in the earlier days of Jailbreak Weekly, you and me having this debate about is it really worth staying on a lower firmware, and you were pretty adamant that it was not worth staying on a lower firmware. And now I hear this, you should stay on the lowest firmware possible.
Well,
times have changed.
I have to call attention to that.
Well,
I mean, Pangu released their 9.1 jailbreak a couple of weeks ago, which is a pretty outdated firmware, so.
Yeah. There's that, and then also, too, I did want to address, I think this might officially be one of the longest times that we've had to wait for a jailbreak to be released. I don't think so far yet it's been the longest, because I think from iOS 6 to 7 it was a long time too.
No,
I think
from
it was
5 to
somewhere around 10
6.
months.
No, it was 5 to 6. It was 5 to 6.
Somewhere around there.
Because I remember iOS 6 jailbreak. The Evaders came out with it in January or February. Yeah, February. That's right. So yeah, I mean, it was a long wait. Yeah.
The thing is, I think with 6 to 7, it might have been longer because the jailbreak for iOS 5 was released in June, the last jailbreak. But with iOS 6, it was released in February, and then 7 was in December. I don't know. Either way, it feels like a long time. I mean, iOS 9.0.2 as of now is the last jailbreakable firmware, and that was from October. So. Yeah. It's been several months for sure.
Well, I mean, it would have been a shorter time if someone hadn't sold his exploits to China, but supposedly sold his exploits to China.
Yeah. And we keep saying this, and I want to keep stressing this because I know there are a lot of people that are saying, he's fake. We haven't heard anything. He's absolutely 100% fake. The reality of this entire situation is, and I don't understand why people just can't really understand this, is that to know whether or not he's 100% fake, we either have to have somebody coming out about it, have either him or somebody else that's close to him come out about it and say, hey, look, it's fake. Or the second piece of it is Taiji or Pangu or whoever comes up with the latest jailbreak, comes up with a new jailbreak, and credits ENTW for his exploit, or doesn't credit him. Either way, it'll prove whether or not he's real or fake.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, regardless, iOS 9.2.1, everyone sees this coming. Whenever a new iOS version comes out, that's not signed, or whenever a more up-to-date one comes out, we all see this coming. It's a matter of, in fact, I think it lasted fairly long. It lasted quite a few weeks.
I think so, yeah.
Once iOS 9.3 came out, so it had a good run. It wasn't jailbreakable, but overall, look, we're on to bigger and better things with iOS 9.3 now, right? So,
agreed. Yeah. So obviously, we'll keep you updated with future jailbreak news, of course. So, Next up, I wanted to do something a little bit different, something that we don't traditionally do, but I wanted to talk about iOS 10, or the next installment of iOS.
iOS X.
Or iOS X.
iOS X.
Yeah, so iOS 10, or whatever it's going to be called. I just want to kind of get your guys' opinion and share my opinion, or basically my hopes for this release. Personally,
a jailbreak.
Yes, jailbreak. Yeah. I'm hoping for a jailbreak, but
I don't know. Cydia.
Yeah, Cydia collaboration with Apple.
Yes.
Exactly.
Sark just walks
Android.
up on stage.
Android.
No, that would be the greatest thing ever. If they were like, we have one more thing for you, and then all of a sudden Sark just walks up on stage and he's like,
oh my god.
No, we
hello,
just have
I'm
one.
the creator of Cydia. That'd be fun.
But yeah, I just wanted to talk about kind of my hopes. So I'm personally hoping for some sort of refreshed look to iOS 10. I don't necessarily demand a full redesign because I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, Apple's pretty content with their current design language, but I just like a few refreshed elements. For example, last year with iOS 9, we got the new cover flow style app switcher. I mean, and that was enough. You know, I respected that change and I appreciated it. So I'm hoping for more things like that. I'm hoping for maybe a little bit more changes than were found in iOS 9. So I don't know. I just kind of want a little bit of a new interface because the current ones, I don't know, it's getting a little bit kind of dull. I just want something to kind of spice things up. So,
another thing I would highlight too is that it's Apple's 40th year, so maybe they'll do something to commemorate that in terms of new features, or I don't know. I mean, just the fact that it's the 10th version of iOS and the fact that it's Apple's 40th year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like maybe there'll be something.
Maybe that could be reaching, but at the same time, it could totally be what's going to happen. I don't know. I think that in iOS X, what I really want to see is the more 3D touch gestures, because like it's not very deeply integrated into the operating system right now. 3D touch, like there's some basic things you can do with it, but if you really want to take advantage of 3D touch, you have to have a jailbreak.
Right.
I agree with that. So that's something you're hoping for, you'd say?
Yeah, because I mean, right now I don't have any uses for, like, yes, sure, there's shortcuts, but like for me, I just don't really have any uses for that. Like, I don't know. I just find that I can it's quicker for me to go into the app and do whatever I need to do rather than go to a shortcut. I mean, there's maybe one or two that I'll use, but otherwise I don't know.
Right.
For me, like, one of the biggest uses of 3D touch is actually, it's a Cydia tweak. It's called Chrysalis. We covered it a while back.
Yeah, oh, that was that was a good tweak.
You like 3D touch on the side of the screen, and it like provides you with a very quick app switcher. And like, to be honest, I use that way more than peek and pop and app shortcuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, see, here's the thing: is that Apple tried to do that, but they built it in like bad because it just kind of invokes the app switcher instead of making it like a mini style app switcher like Chrysalis does. So it's kind of, Chrysalis is kind of a take on that similar idea of being able to just quickly launch, something up, but instead of having, the regular app switcher, you can actually have like a smaller, minier version that looks better and it's easier to operate.
Yeah, exactly.
So, David, do you have any hopes for iOS 10 as of now?
Okay, so two things. One, which really, honestly, probably wouldn't even be for iOS 10. They could do this with a minor update, is improving the functionality of 3D touch on the keyboard, because I use that constantly, but for some reason, it is extremely buggy on my phone. I don't know if it's just because of, maybe how hard maybe I'm not pressing hard enough, but like when I try to press hard enough to invoke it, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And
it's finicky.
Yeah, I really like being able to use that, and it would make it would be really good for me if they somehow were able to fix that. And I think, honestly, I don't think iOS 10 needs, I don't think they need to wait until iOS 10 to do that. That could be a minor update.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it could be something that they just fix like overnight. In a small update. Let's hope not, because that might mean that it's even harder than it is now to jailbreak, right? But
yeah, that's true. Well, the second thing I was going to say as well is, and I've said this so many times.
If you say grabby board, I swear.
Grabby board stock implementation.
No, actually, you know what? I'm going to see if you guys can guess this, because I've said it a few times on the podcast, so let's see if you guys can guess what I'm thinking.
John Cena integration?
No.
Grabby board integration? An instant feed to all the fake jailbreaks out there? Oh, wait.
Actually, that would be pretty nice, but I mean, Apple's not going to do that for an iOS version. That's like more like a jailbreak tweak, but
I got nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
anyway, well, what I was getting towards was group video chatting for FaceTime.
Oh, three-way FaceTime, exactly.
Yeah.
iOS 6, it really needs three-way FaceTime. You're right, because especially like as a podcasting group, like FaceTime's audio quality is really, really high. It'd be nice to have three-way FaceTime.
Yeah, definitely, and I think a lot of people would prefer it because it could serve as an alternative to things like Google Hangouts or Skype. For example, yeah, you could record a podcast using FaceTime. And again, there's just so many uses for it. Personal usage, family usage. It's just, I think it could be great. So, yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I've heard a lot of rumors about a night mode, like a system-wide night mode coming in iOS.
Don't they already have that?
Interesting. That would be really nice.
I mean, there's Night Shift, which is basically like Flux, but then there's tweaks like Eclipse, which basically like turn all white UI dark.
Ooh,
so something like that would be great in iOS 10, and I actually do think we'll probably be seeing something like that. But I don't know, it's just something to think about. WWDC is always held in June, so I guess we'll just have to see then what happens. It's probably going to be first few weeks of June because that's usually when Apple does it. So I'm super excited, but
right.
We will see about that.
We shall see.
Yes. So we actually have some great tweaks to talk about today as well. So I guess we'll just jump straight into them. First up, we have Edge. Basically, this brings the Samsung feature from the Samsung Galaxy, Edge and phones like that to iOS. Basically, how it works is you swipe from the right side of the screen over, and it presents you with certain options. For example, the first screen shows you recent applications in your app switcher. Swipe again. You could actually assign certain apps to show up there. And then you could actually, this is the really cool part, there's like tasks. So you could assign certain tasks to happen when you tap on certain things. Like there's various options, for example, take selfie, search the App Store, new tab in Safari. So it's like app shortcuts kind of. That'll take you to a specific portion of an app. There's tons to choose from if you select add. There's like create new contact, power phone off, respring. It's kind of hard to explain. And then if you swipe again, you have the people section where you could add your favorite contacts there, so you could quickly message them, email or call. So it's kind of hard to explain, but if you know the Edge feature from Samsung, I think this tweak will make sense. So,
right.
What do you guys think?
This kind of seems like a tacky version of, well, I shouldn't say tacky, but like a version of workflow, I guess, that you have to be jailbroken to get. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I could be totally wrong, but to me, based off how you're describing it, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very similar to the Edge display. I'm not that familiar with it because I don't use Android, but from what I've seen with screenshots and playing with the phones in the store, this feels exactly like it. And I really like the tweak, but I don't know. It just seems like it's trying to do too much for personally something that I would use on my device. But I don't know. It's super cool. Any thoughts on this, David?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty interesting. I haven't tested it myself yet, but yeah, it's kind of just something where it's cool, it's okay, because it's Android based. It's not really something I think I would really use, just because I like the iOS environment better than Android. So.
Yeah, I mean, for a Samsung Galaxy S7, which is what this is for users who, I guess, have that phone or want to mimic that phone, this is something you'd install. But I don't know. Again, it's a super impressive tweak, and clearly a lot of time was put into this. It's very well designed. All the animations are nice, and again, it was a huge project to tackle, but it's just not something I would use personally. So don't get me wrong; it's a great tweak. It completely does what it says. It's just not really. It's just kind of a little bit too complicated, or it's trying to do too much for my taste, I guess. But it's available for $199, so if you want to check it out, you could go ahead. So next up, we have another tweak called Brevis. This basically allows you to customize 3D Touch to your advantage on the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus. So basically, there's various options to configure. One of the most popular ones with this tweak that I've seen kind of on Twitter and everything is removing the title to 3D Touch, shortcuts. For example, when you 3D Touch on, I don't know, the Twitter app, as opposed to it saying compose tweet or, composed message or whatever, it'll just show you the little icon that shows up next to it, so that'll kind of clear up your home screen, I guess. And it makes it kind of makes the menu a little bit slimmer. Personally, it just confuses me because I don't really know what the icons mean, but that's there. You could also remove the blur effect with 3D Touch, because when you 3D Touch on icons, there's this blur effect, and sometimes it's laggy. It depends on your device and what's going on, but it can lag up your springboard, so you could kind of make things a little bit speedier with it. And there's various other options to configure. You could go into the settings and kind of tinker with it.
There was definitely another tweak that removed the blur. I don't remember what it was called, but I know there was definitely
it's 3D no lag, because they actually use this.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that was pretty useful, because it does lag up at some time. Sometimes it does lag up. So.
Apple has fixed it on newer iOS, but obviously 9.0.2 is the only jailbreakable version, so I don't know. It's kind of, I guess that's a way to get around that without updating, but what do you guys think about this?
I mean, it's interesting. I saw screenshots on Cydia. I was on my iPod earlier today, and I was refreshing Cydia, because I haven't been on Cydia in a little while on my iPod, since it's my secondary device. So I refreshed it, and I looked at some of the screenshots. It looks pretty interesting. It looks like it'd be an okay tweak. It's just not something I probably would use all that much, because I don't really use the 3D Touch shortcuts that much. Peek and pop I use a lot more than 3D Touch. I guess when I'm jailbroken, though, depending on what tweaks I have in conjunction, sometimes 3D Touch is a lot more useful, and we've already said that with tweaks like Chrysalis and other things, but the 3D Touch shortcuts I don't really use that often, so it's probably not something I would really, need to use.
Right.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that assessment. It would appeal to me, I think, if I was someone who had to look at my screen every day and use 3D Touch and see all these annoying titles and stuff like that pop up. But because obviously I don't have to look at my screen, and I kind of need those titles for VoiceOver, and VoiceOver doesn't show me the icon, it just reads off the title, I don't really have a valid use for this tweak. But I can definitely see why it would appeal to people with sight, for sure.
Yeah, and also, a few other things I just wanted to quickly mention. You could also you could customize the icon size in the settings. You could also customize the text size as well in the subtext. So, basically, you could just completely customize the whole menu. I don't know. Personally, again, it's just a little confusing to me, just having these icons, because I'm very familiar with various iOS design language, but 3D Touch, maybe it's just because it was released earlier, just a couple months ago with the 6S. But I'm just not that familiar with it at this time. So I don't know. Maybe as time goes on, I'll get more used to it. But as of now, I'm just going to stick with the current 3D Touch. But again, it's available in Cydia for $1. And if it sounds like something you'd like, you could try it out. I don't know. It's another one of those tweaks that clearly has uses for some people, but it's just not us, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So next up we have Lautus. I think that's how it's pronounced. This one's actually a free tweak, and this is a really cool tweak. I really appreciate this. It lets you. This is also kind of 3D Touch related. In the shortcuts menu, it lets you clear the cache of any app. So you can just 3D Touch. Yeah, and you have a little trash icon. You tap it. Uh-oh.
Oh, Justin's intrigued by this one.
Yeah, and it just completely clears the cache. I really appreciate this.
No way.
Now, does this work with non-3D Touch devices? Like, so you could use different tweaks in conjunction to be able to get those 3D Touch shortcuts?
Yeah. If you use reveal menu.
Okay, I'm definitely getting it on my iPod then.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I use mobile iMovie fairly often to do various things, and I don't know what it is. Sometimes, for some reason, the app gets confused and it thinks there's like 10 gigs cached for whatever reason.
Well,
I don't know why that happens, but this would be perfect for that, because I could just clear that out.
Oh man, the amount of oh man, I'm so sad. I'm not jailbroken right now, and I can't use this.
I know, it's super.
Well, hopefully there's a jailbreak out soon.
Sown.
Hashtag sown.
Hashtag sown.
Yeah, it's free too. So.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so excited about this tweak. I really want to.
Yeah. I really wish there was like a way to jailbreak, but it was like partial, and it wasn't like a huge, like
semi jailbreak.
Well, that, but like I also just wish it was like the whole lime rain situation was so awesome, because literally, even though it was tethered, you could, no matter what, you could jailbreak any iOS version, like it didn't matter. It's just like it sucks now because you can't do that at all.
You know,
That's true.
actually, this is completely random thought, but this tweak makes me think. This is the kind of stuff I'd like to see in iOS 6, like where you're dealing with more under the hood type things. Apple does not give users access to enough under the hood things. Even if you bury it in settings somewhere, I don't care. Just please give us access. Like, really, how bad is it that you don't even have a built-in option to the graphical user interface to kill you or to clear your RAM? Like, you can do it, but you don't have that option. Like, you can't go into settings and be like, clear RAM, or go into settings and be like, clear app cache, or go into settings. Like, that kind of thing is the thing that Apple needs to provide for users, in my opinion.
Right.
I agree.
I mean,
yeah.
it's one of those things where I think it would have to be buried into the settings because
I don't care where you put it. Just give us access to it. Like,
right. No, I'm just saying for people that aren't like us, I feel like it's going to be like super complicated. Like they're going to get their iPhone, they're going to be like, and this is mainly the people, the kind of people that I'm talking about are mainly the people that are either switching from a phone from ages ago to an iPhone, or having an iPhone for the first time, experiencing iOS for the first time and not knowing a single thing about it, and they're kind of learning, by doing certain things, and they're like, oh, clear RAM, what's that? And it's just I feel like having all that there would kind of confuse people. So I think maybe that's the reason Apple has decided so far to not go that route.
Yeah, exactly. It's like people don't understand what RAM means. So I respect that, and that's kind of always been their thing. But as a jailbreaker, I would certainly appreciate it.
There's just got to be more. There's no under the hood.
There should be like an advanced settings toggle that you can turn on that you'll be able to like see a bunch of
maybe like
stuff.
an Xcode or something. So like so it's not gonna, the average user isn't gonna come across it. But maybe if you really want to, you could like plug into your Mac. Maybe like Apple Configurator or something like that, and you could enable.
Yeah, no, because I think there's like I think if you plug it in, there's like some type of developer mode, but I think you can like see certain logs, and I don't know. I'm not a developer myself, so like I've seen it before because I've sideloaded things, so I've seen that little thing there before, but I've never really like interacted with it because I don't really have to. There's nothing, I'm not a developer, so it doesn't really matter to me. But something like that where it's just kind of like a hidden settings menu and you can turn it on. Show hidden settings, whatever, or go through Xcode and do it, plug it in, and do something like that. Whatever. I don't know. It's just I think it would be pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
it
nice.
would be nice to have. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Lautus, it's available for free, and it could really help, especially if you use apps frequently. Maybe like you're a frequent Twitter user and you have a bunch of profile pictures like cached. You could just clear them all out at once.
I
gotta ask you, Andy. Does this tweak have bugs? Because I see in the screenshot that you sent, there's like a lot.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. There's another tweak that I had installed that I think's conflicting with it because I have a bunch of 3D touch tweaks, so sometimes glitches could.
Yeah, because there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like a bunch of 3D touch shortcuts. They all just say clear cache.
Yeah. I think that's a glitch. I don't know. I have so much installed. Sometimes it's hard to keep track, but. Yeah, you shouldn't experience that.
How does your device not blow up in flames, Andy? That's what I would like to know. Like how
I don't know.
How has your device not like blown up? Like
I don't know. Yes, sometimes like it gets so hot, I have to like put it on a glass table so it doesn't like burn my house down. But I'm just taking precautions here.
So in the chat, David Yai said, "Can't you do that already by holding the power button until the power turns off and turning it on and holding the home button?"
Yeah, that's for clearing RAM.
Yeah, no, I know you can do that, but what I'm saying is like, how many people actually know that? You know what I mean? Like, how many people actually know that? Oh, there's this hack that you can do to clear RAM, and like I said, there's a way to clear cache as well, but it's like this really obscure way that no one is gonna know unless you read it on a blog somewhere.
So it's just like show the option to be able to do that, and don't make people do all these ridiculous, crazy stuff to be able to do it.
Yeah,
basically, just give the option outright to do that.
Yeah, I have to agree. So yeah. All right. So next up, we have one final tweak to talk about. This one's also available for free. It's called MessageDeleteConfirmer, all one word. And what do you think this tweak does? Well, it's going
to
Maybe it confirms when you delete messages. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And you swipe on a message.
I'm shocked.
No way.
I'm shocked, Andy.
Whoa, my.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
If you swipe on a message in the message app, hit delete. It's going to ask you if you want to delete it. It'll say confirmation. Are you
Does
sure
this
you
work
want to
for
delete this
emails
thread?
too?
No, it's just for the message app. But
See, regardless, I think it's still an awesome tweak, but I'd really like to see email support in there.
Yeah, because like there's this feature in iOS. I think iOS 8 added it. If you swipe all the way to the left, it'll automatically delete it. And it's convenient, but it could make for accidents. So I don't know. Like maybe you have a super important text thread that you're just like mindlessly deleting everything, and I don't know. It could help. It could save you a headache.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. And there's not much to it. No settings. It just works. And I thought it was a really kind of simple, but just I don't know. I feel like it could save you a lot of.
Oh yeah, no,
headache.
that's the kind of like utilitarian tweak that makes jailbreaking nice, right? Like that kind of stuff is the stuff that that makes jailbreaking great, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just something super convenient that
Yeah.
like, oh well, I'm jailbroken, so I can do this to make just my life that much easier.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was another one. What was it called? It was one that would make you confirm when you wanted to send a message.
Confirm send, maybe something.
Oh
like that.
no! It was like yeah, I'll have to look it up. But there was
I definitely know what you were talking about. It was like I don't remember the name of the tweak.
It had
like
support for a bunch more apps besides. Was it Linus that made it? I think. It had support for a bunch more stuff. But it was really nice because I used that because sometimes I'll hit send by accident and I made a typing mistake or like for example we've all been there like in the heat of the moment and you're having an argument with someone over text and you type something out and then you look at it and you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't send this. That kind of thing, right? So it's just really nice that these kind of stuff exists.
If you're quick enough, but this is like something that you wouldn't really think about in this type of situation, what you could do is swipe up to Control Center and then toggle
airplane
on
mode.
Airplane mode.
Yeah,
So
but obviously that doesn't work for deleting messages, which this tweak does, right? So it's really nice that it gives you this option.
Yeah,
definitely. And it's really nice that this late in the 9.0.2 cycle. I always like to say this that we're still getting quality tweaks. So I just appreciate that.
It's true. Yeah.
And with that being said, I think that pretty much wraps up our show. So do you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
Not too much. I think should we throw it to the chat for questions?
Sure, yeah. So anybody in the chat, hit us up if you got any questions.
Yeah, there's one person I see here, and I think that's about it because everybody mysteriously just dropped off. I don't know what just happened, but we have one person watching us now, and there was like 6. So I don't know if like the connection's bad or whatever. In any case, though, Ellie Ann wants to know. She says, "I found my Ellie Ann wants to know. No, I don't know what I'm saying. Ellie Ann, is basically asking. She said, "I found my old iPod, which is on iOS 8.1.2, and I want to jailbreak it. Should I use Taiji or Pangu?"
I'd actually recommend Taiji.
Yeah,
because Pangu doesn't actually support 8.1.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it was for both of them for 8.1.2?
No, it was just Taiji. So
that's what I was saying. I was thinking it was just Taiji.
I think Taiji is a little bit more stable than Pangu.
I'd have to
regardless. Yeah. But yeah, I would say Taiji is probably your best bet.
Yeah. Definitely. So Taiji, if you're still here, Taiji.
Yeah. And I think that's just about it. I'm not seeing anything else.
I'm not seeing anything either, unless somebody decides to say something.
Yeah.
This episode is like a lot more quiet than last time.
Yeah, well, maybe we are recording it on a Sunday night, so
yeah, that's true.
What do you expect?
It's the curse of John Cena.
Yep, this Sunday night. John Cena's stealing all our thunder. Everyone's paying attention to John Cena.
They're watching.
Stealing our viewers.
They're watching WWE Super Slam right now.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So with that being said, thank you guys. Thank both you guys, Justin and David, for joining me, and we'll catch you guys next week.
No problem. Always exciting to record with you guys.
For sure.
Yeah, it was a good one for sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. Later.
Peace out.
Peace.
See ya.